The Raptors win their fifth game in a row. Nail biter over the Los Angeles Clippers. 103-100 is your final. I'm Randy Urban, and welcome to Raptors Night Cap. Tonight we're joined by Amy Audibert, Sherman Hamilton, and Jack Armstrong. Jack, what a finish to this one. Just your reaction to the final few minutes there.
Well, a few things. Number one, you normally don't see Fred VanVleet, who's close to a 90% free throw shooter, miss two free throws like that down the stretch in the clutch. So they battled, and they kept getting their hand on balls. And a classic Raptor game. Obviously, Siakam was great, but you look at the fact that they won the turnover battle. They break points, second chance opportunities, all the little hustle stats. They did it, and they did a good job defending the three. I mean, the Clippers are a three-point shooting team, and they were even Steven with them tonight. I think it was 11 apiece tonight. So that's a good job overall with perimeter defense and chasing down loose balls. Hey, look, they gutted it out. That's a great road win and an incredible road trip.
Yeah. Amy, you were at the arena. I'm not sure where your seats were, but what was your vantage point to that foul against Fred?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough break for the Clippers, for sure it was. And the arena let everybody know. Yes, absolutely, you can take it. But can I just talk about that big offensive rebound off the free throw? That kind of iced the game, right? Like, their offensive rebounding was, I mean, it has been really good as of late. I mean, it's always been really good. I think they're ranked second in the league, but they've been even better than they usually are in these last 4 or 5 games. So, and I mean, that's really what won the game at the end, right? It iced it, was that huge offensive rebound off of the free throw.
That was Scotty that got a hand on that kept it alive for Fred to get. Yeah.
He did, but I would say Kem Birch had 5 offensive rebounds tonight, and he was so solid. His defense on Zubats, and then, he only had 9 points on 2 field goal attempts. He's a big body, and I thought he was great tonight. And he made a big difference and doesn't always show up on the box. We always say it with him.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of box score, Sherm, significant stat that stood out to you?
Well, I mean, everybody's talked about the offensive rebounding, but this is a team that scores off those second chance opportunities. So, they really punish you when they get to the glass and they create those opportunities. I think it was 13 offensive rebounds for 21 points, I believe. So when you're talking about the ability to capitalize, this team does it as one of the best teams in the league. And I also like the fact that, we'll get to him at some point, but Pascal's efficiency has been phenomenal. It's been absolutely phenomenal. The consistency, the efficiency, and I know we'll get to him, but I got to just start this up right now. Mm-hmm. He was absolutely determined to get to that basket. And that matchup with Hartenstein, that was food for Pascal, and he ate regularly. And I like the fact that he did that. Didn't try to switch it up and try to get fancy with it. It was attack mode every time you saw that man.
Yeah. Yeah, Jack, just following up on Pascal there, everyone knows he's got the spin. Everyone knows he wants to get into the paint, but he still manages to do it. This is just a testament to the work that he's put in and the court awareness to, recognize double teams and all that stuff.
Yeah, and he's shooting the ball better from three. So you got to go out and crowd him further away from the basket. And he's got that quick first step. He's got a tight handle. He's got a lot of versatility in his ball handling skills. And he's doing a really good job of knowing where the help's coming from. So when he does put the ball on the floor and now another defender starts coming his way, he's alert to what the coverages are and where his teammates are. So he's in a really good place right now in terms of his development. And we've all said it. I mean, he's playing better than the guy that was an all-league player a few years ago. To me, and right now, you don't have an OG Anunoby in the lineup. That does impact spacing around him. That's one less three-point shooter. So what he's doing is that much harder because there's less real estate for him to operate with because it's constantly congested where he's trying to go.
Mm-hmm. Amy, what I'm really liking, though, is this sort of chemistry and relationship and just being able to play off each other with Pascal and Scotty, right? You've got two kind of point forward big men that can run, that are athletic, that can handle it a little bit, shoot it a little bit, and they're really turning into a nice duo.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're both mismatch nightmares. And the other thing I would say is I'm not going to say I'm surprised, but it's really pleasant that you get the sense that there's not too much selfishness. Like they're okay when Pascal's cooking, just let him go. Isolation, break it down. Then Scotty has his moments. And I think that's one of the things we talked about a bunch is what's been so incredible about Pascal is his numbers have been consistent, even with Scotty having his outpouring. And I think that that's just, they're okay with letting each other shine in their moments. But again, they're both like, and you watch them both do it all the time. They take a guy off the bounce, get their back to the basket and quickly spin inside. And they just both have this ability to make that read.
Sure. This is significant, right? For this team's overall success and like just success over the next few years, having these two guys being able to play, everybody talks about, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, can they play together and all these other duos. Having Pascal and Scotty with their size and their skill set being able to play off each other and together is going to just be huge for this team.
Well, it is. And the beautiful thing about the both of them is that they have similar skill sets. So they can be inside, the other guy can be outside, and they can flip that and they can switch roles and still have the same success. And I think it really helps the fact that the Raptors don't have your traditional post guy. So there's a lot of room to operate in terms of you can put each guy on a separate wing and they can attack from each side, or you can put each guy on a separate block and they can attack from there as well. So it's a real luxury to have. And I really think the acceleration of Scotty Barnes' development has really made us look at this and say, wow, these guys are 2 6'9" guys that can play on the perimeter. Scotty's maturity level allows him to be impactful in late game situations. You have a lot to deal with those two guys. And then you throw Freddie in the mix. Then if Gary Trent Jr.'s got it going, then if OG's healthy and his versatility, this is a very effective team on both sides of the basketball. So you're right. Those two guys being able to play together and finding that kind of chemistry, it's big for this franchise moving forward.
And then Jack, Precious Achiuwa, right? Sure mentioned, the starters. And then you've got this kid coming off the bench. The handle that he is showing in his game is amazing to me.
Well, and he is. You're right. And you know what he's doing now? He's not overhandling. I think early in the year he was trying to do too much. I think he's a lot more efficient in terms of his movements and his actions on the floor. He knows he'll get the ball back. He's less anxious when he's out there. He lets the game breathe and lets it come to him a little bit. And then he goes and gets it when the opportunity presents itself. He's really active on the offensive glass. He's a very mobile defender who can guard a number of positions. He's really good winning 50-50 battles. He's shooting the ball with a lot of confidence. So a lot of things, the polish is getting there. He's just settling down and he's becoming more of a basketball player, not a guy that was playing on his ability. Now he's playing and everything's starting to come together in terms of the ability along with the making the proper reads and the comfort level with the system. I think it's all starting to happen.
Amy, when I look at this Clippers team, I'm thinking this team should not be 500. I'm thinking this team should be 10, 15, 20 games under 500. But Tyronn Lue, he's got to get consideration for Coach of the Year, just the job he's done with this squad.
Well, I mean, it's something to be said that they've got a lot of veterans that are tough too. I mean, Reggie Jackson leading the way for them. Don't forget, he got waived by Detroit in 2020 and kind of is now playing some of his better hoops. And because the ability's there. And I know we talk about it with their three-point shooting, but again, they have a lot of veterans. And so they know how to get out there and win basketball games. The fact that they're one of the better three-point shooting teams because they set each other up, right? They know how to relocate. They didn't see a lot of paint touch kickouts. So when Kawhi and PG get back, probably not this year, at least consistently. But yeah, there's certainly going to be, he'll have a couple more weapons, won't he?
Sure. Let's talk about this road trip before we wrap up the show. 5-1, Amy mentioned on the broadcast, it's the best road trip of 6 games or more record wise that the team has ever had, which is amazing considering what they were doing coming into the road trip, right? They weren't playing great against some not so good teams. How do you think they rediscovered themselves?
Well, you talk about before the road trip, but even the first game of the road trip, remember in Cleveland, that was a game that they could have won, and they didn't get that game. So it kind of made you get a bit weary about what was ahead for this team. You get the San Antonio game, and to me, it was that Phoenix-Denver matchup that really opened my eyes. that Phoenix game's a tough game, but to play Denver the next night, that seemed like a schedule loss written all over it. And they found a way to gut it out. So this changes for this team. And I think overall, because they're able to do that, you know, I think it told us a lot about them. I thought this road trip was going to speak a lot in terms of where they would be going into the final 13, 14 games of the season. Well, guess what? Now they've caught up to Cleveland. And now they're in a situation where they're going to have to jump them to get that sixth spot because Cleveland has a tie break. But overall, they put themselves in position after a road trip that if they came back 3-3, none of us would have said anything about it. We'd have said, that's a good road trip. Keep it moving and try and finish strong. So I tip my hat to them. And I don't know what your question was, but they were good on this road trip and they got the job done.
Yeah. Jack, just your reaction to this. I mean, I'm sure you saw it coming. You are the coach. You saw a 5-1 record.
I don't think any of us saw it coming, Randy. I'll say this, though, you know, as big a trip as this is, just look ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
You got the Lakers coming back in Friday night, and you got 3 huge Eastern Conference games at Philly, at Chicago on a back-to-back, and then you come home and play Cleveland. As Sherm said, they've caught them now. And as Sherm mentioned, the Raptors don't have the tiebreakers. So, you know, by next Thursday night, things are going to have a little bit more clarity in terms of where they stand after these 4 important games coming up. So if they could do some positive things these next 4 and continue playing at a high level, they could very well be in the 6th seed next Thursday night.
Mm-hmm. Amy, how's that plane ride going to be tonight?
Plane ride's tomorrow, and it's probably going to be.
Okay.
I'm probably going to sleep. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay, so one more night in LA. That can't be a bad thing.
Yeah. You know what? Everyone's going to get a good sleep tonight. Going to have a nice travel day tomorrow. And dude, you said it, not me, so that's fine. Listen, these guys are in a really good place right now, so let's just stay there, right? Yeah.
All right, great stuff. Good to stop it there. I appreciate you all doing the show. Next game for the Raptors goes Friday night back in Toronto. Rematch against LeBron and the Lakers. We'll see how that one plays out. Tip-off is going to go at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We will see you then.